We have big movies that are opening, have opened. We have big streamers that are streaming or gonna stream. We have stuff happening that has happened, it's gonna happen. And we have a person who is without peer. He attends all these crappy screenings of some cruddy film. Then he attends some fabulous screening of some fabulous film. Off the beaten track, on the mainstream. He deserves a long intro, and that's why I've given him a long intro. His name is Michael Snyder, but he is the Culture Blaster. I know. He comes and goes on a rainbow. How about it, Snyder? Nice to see you.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, as the people say, or as Mickey Mouse used to say. Greetings, Mark. Hi, Kim. Hi, Albert. And hello, everybody out there in MTS land. I have missed you. I took last week off since we were dark on July 4th. I don't know about you, but I celebrated what I'm now calling End of Independence Day by rounding up some illegal fireworks. I rounded them up and I ignited them with a burning copy of the Constitution. Anyway, all fears of American fascism aside, I did get to go out to Oracle Park a few days ago to see my boyhood team, the Philadelphia Phillies, take on the team I have supported throughout adulthood, the San Francisco Giants. And I witnessed the boys in orange and black and purple. Yeah, they were in their psychedelic City Connect uniforms, win in the bottom of the ninth inning on an inside the park walk-off home run by light-hitting catcher Patrick Bailey. Mark, it was the first time I witnessed an inside the park homer, and it resulted in a Giants victory. I mean, the ball was bouncing off the right field brick wall. The Phillies outfielders were chasing after it. Bailey's chugging home. The crowd's going bonkers. All it needed was Boots Randolph's yakety sax, you know, like Benny Hill style. It would have been amazing. Oh, my God. It was amazing. And
Albert commented on it. It was pretty terrific. Yeah. If you're,
it was great. So speaking of high entertainment value, shall we get to the films?
Please, please.
Okay, so we may take a deep dive here because it's a comic book movie, and you know me, I've been a comic book fan since childhood. The new big screen interpretation of Superman, who was in fact the first comic book superhero, is intended as the cornerstone of Warner Brothers' relaunch of the DC Comics universe under the guidance of filmmaker James Gunn. And of course, the maggots are in an uproar that Superman has been outed by Gunn as an undocumented immigrant to America. You know, the guy that was known as a strange visitor from another planet since his creation in the late 1930s by two Jewish immigrants in Cleveland, Ohio. But I digress.
But wait a minute. Let me just ask you about this because I did have a follow-up before. Wasn't Superman found in a field, a little swaddling kind of infant?
Yeah, in a little rocket ship, and he was found.
Oh, he was found in a rocket ship. Okay.
Yeah, he was found by Ma and Pa Ken, a couple of kindly Kansas farmer types, and
they never told anybody that he was in a rocket ship, or how did that go?
No. They delivered him in mythology, the Superman myth, that is. They take him to an orphanage, and they say, if no one else wants the kid, we would love to claim him as ours. And that's how they got the kid. They said he was a foundling.
And that's interesting. Okay.
In a lot of ways, the Superman origin is very much the Moses story. You know, Moses is set adrift in the river and found in the weeds by essentially adoptive parents. Well, actually, he's found by Pharaoh's daughter, I think.
Yeah, Pharaoh's daughter, exactly.
But I mean, yeah, the Jews let him go. Anyway.
When is that movie coming out?
I think we're going to see a new version of it very soon. Anyway,
go back to it. I was just curious about the origin story. Please continue.
So this Superman is fun and worth seeing for fans of the genre, but it feels like the second installment in the series where there are references to his history, but no touchstones at the start. I mean, I understand Gunn not wanting to retell the familiar origin of baby Kal-El sent to Earth by his parents as their home planet Krypton exploded, found by the kindly couple. raised as Clark Kent as his powers develop, becoming a reporter for the Daily Planet newspaper in Metropolis, saving lives in his blue and red costumed identity, falling for fellow reporter Lois Lane, etc. Instead, this latest movie introduction of Superman starts what we call in media res. Things are already progressing. It's right after the big blue Boy Scouts aborted battle with a supervillain, which is okay, but this lacks the inherent drama of the beginning of filmmaker Gunn's first Guardian of the Galaxy movie for Marvel. I mean, we do get to see Clark at the Daily Planet with Lois, young photographer Jimmy Olsen, gruff editor Perry White, and a few other notables, but not for long. There's a brief interlude with Lois, which is sweet, and then all hell breaks loose, courtesy of the evil Lex Luthor and his dastardly plans. I mean, we never really get to know this new iteration of these characters enough to really bond with them, in my opinion. And all of Gunn's broad humor, which is generally funny and works in his Guardian movies and Suicide Squad, etc., is present here and generates some laughs, but it kind of trivializes the movie a bit, making it more comic booky, and I think some people would like that, but undercutting Superman's nobility and gravitas. I mean, the Lois and Clark stuff is rom-com charming, but to its credit, it's got a great cast, even if they're somewhat underused. David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, and Nicholas Hoult are spot on in their roles as a corny, soft-hearted Superman, a feisty Lois, and a vindictive, power-mad, alien-hating tech king and would-be dictator Lex Luthor. He's like a horrifying hybrid of Trump and Musk. You know, it's really very of the moment in that. But the movie is so jammed with other heroes and villains that Lois gets short shrift, despite her great chemistry with Clark. Lots of characters are presumed to be familiar to the audience with little backstory, rendering them a bit more shallow than I'd like. You know, some of Superman's fellow metahumans are introduced as the Justice Gang, Hawk Girl, played by Isabella Merced from The Last of Us, Mr. Terrific, played by Eddie Gathegi, and ID.
What does Mr. Terrific do?
He is a brilliant scientist who is known as the second or third smartest person on the planet. And so he has all this great technological skill. Hawk Girl, you know, has wings and can fly. You never understand the why and the how of Hawk Girl. And finally, the third in this trio of Justice Gang members is the smirking Guy Gardner, who was played by Nathan Fillion. I always love him, as the douchiest member of the power ring wearing, space spanning Green Lantern Corps. Although we only know about his provenance from reading DC Comics or seeing previous movies or animated cartoons. So, you know, also, by the way, I'm not sure that I'm buying the ultra hick version of, you know, Ma and Pa Kent. They're good-hearted and everything, but they do seem like they came from a movie in the 1930s. All right. So let's wrap this up. This multi-thread plot is literally all over the map with the Daily Planet stuff, Luthor's machinations, a pocket universe, a giant kaiju attack, and a worse super science crisis that endangers Metropolis, the Justice Gang, the introduction of Crypto the Super Dog, who steals every scene he's in, grabbing hold of it like it's his favorite chew toy. And finally, and this should be of interest to you, Mark, a geopolitical war front that echoes two current real-world conflicts. And still, you know, it's a decency positive, big screen, action-packed spectacle, even if the various battle sequences are now standard CGI fests.
How long is it, Michael?
It's about 2 hours plus.
Okay, that's not bad.
Dude, it's about a paragon of virtue and a beacon of hope. I just wish it was more inspired or inspiring. I'm kind of on the fence. It's okay.
Is his outfit by lore made out of the blanket that surrounded him when he was found in the spacecraft?
The initial introduction of how the uniform came to be is, in fact, that, Mark. So your Wikipedia-like memory has
I remember
served
that.
you well.
That's what I remember. Somebody was giving me a hard time. I can't believe Mark Thompson doesn't know the Superman. So, sorry, I don't know every little. I was right about he's found in the swaddling thing by the farmers, and I remembered that his outfit was made from the.
Hey, which one do you use, Mark Thompson?
I didn't remember I didn't remember they brought him to an orphanage.
That's one of the many changing origins. Some people say that some stories have Ma and Pa Kent finding him right before the winter and revealing him in the spring, saying that Ma Kent had him during the dark of winter, and they'd been
I
blessed
see.
by a baby. I look,
Yeah.
there's a plethora. There's a plethora of origins, but it's
Cassandra
Superman.
says this from Kill Bill: Superman is the only superhero who doesn't transform into a superhero. He is more than everybody, but pretends to be less than everybody. That's a really good point.
That is true, Cassandra. And let me say that Corin Sweat is a wonderful Clark Kent, maybe the best we've had since Christopher Reeve. He's a wonderful, lovable Clark Kent, and his Superman is good too. I just wanted more, and I certainly didn't want to just leap into it with no dramatic grounding to start with. And I think that's what you get in some movies. So this felt like the second film in a series.
Right. I get it.
I want to talk about a movie that I have unequivocal love for. May I?
Sure, please.
Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight is the feature film directorial debut of M. Beth Davids, who is also one of the stars of the movie and wrote the screenplay. It's based on Alexandra Fuller's memoir, which is set in Zimbabwe, formerly Rhodesia, during the end of the Zimbabwean War for Independence against the British colonizers in 1980. And it basically recounts a pivotal time in the childhood of the author, who is known as Bobo, that's her nickname, on her family farm as she kind of navigates the conflict and its aftermath. Davids does a phenomenal job in all three phases of the movie with a letter-perfect script, sensitive direction, and a powerhouse performance. And by the way, Davids, who you may know from her stellar work in Schindler's List, Ray Donovan, The Morning Show, Mad Men, some Spider-Man movies, and more, is an American with South African lineage, and those roots clearly give her an advantage in doing this adaptation. Her performance as Bobo's mother embodies the privilege, the anger, and the arrogance of the interloper, whose husband is part of the military trying to suppress what they look upon as an uprising, even as she and her family have truly bonded to their environment, but it's not their native land, the mother, the father, and the actors playing the native Zimbabweans are crucial and excellent, but they are, in fact, supporting players in service of an astonishing young actress named Lexi Venter, who plays Bobo with remarkable verity and kind of an offhand naturalism. Venter is the heart of Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight, letting us see the strife and the horror through innocent eyes at first. She simply reflects the superior attitudes of her mother towards the family's black servants until her emotional attachments and the dangers of the conflict wake the kid up to the truth of the situation. Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight is one of my favorite movies of the year to date. It's kind of up there with Sinners. It is available to be seen in select theaters. It will open a little wider next week, but boy, I thought it was good.
Wow. All right. Love it. Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight is
another fascinating
so
and thought-provoking movie, I got to get to this, is Sovereign. Again, this is something like Don't Let's Go to the Dogs that I think you'd be interested in watching, Mark. Sovereign is in some ways about a dysfunctional father-son relationship, and in other ways is about the deep political, intellectual, and spiritual divide and economic disparity in contemporary American society. Nick Offerman delivers a stunning, fine-tuned performance. It's as good as I've ever seen from this excellent, versatile actor. You know him from comedy for the most part, but man, this is crackerjack stuff. He plays an anti-establishment, anti-authoritarian named Jerry Kane, whose beliefs are built on the idea that the government cannot tell him what to do. And he tours the country giving lectures on how to fight back against what he thinks is an unfair and unjust system, assisted by his teenage son, Joseph, who was played by former child actor Jacob Tremblay. Growing up and reaching new depths on the performance side. During their travels, the two encounter Police Chief Jim Bouchard, played by Dennis Quaid. I know he's a right-wing lunatic, but this is a great role for him, and he delivers. And the eventual result of the father and son crossing paths with the police chief is memorable and disturbing, especially when you realize that the story is inspired by actual people and events. Director and screenwriter Christian Swiegel has made a movie that may haunt you, but I recommend it as worthwhile viewing in these tumultuous times.
Wow, it's called Sovereign?
Sovereign. It's in select theaters and available for streaming on demand. Let's do some quickies before we wrap up,
yes,
if you don't mind.
I certainly don't mind.
Okay, so Push is the horror movie of the week. It's okay. It's about a pregnant woman named Natalie Flores, played by Alicia Sands, and she is on the
Let
verge
me
of
guess.
giving
She's
birth.
pregnant with the devil's spawn.
No,
No?
no, 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 no.
Okay.
That's what you'd expect, but that's not what happens here.
All right.
Instead, she is a realtor. She comes from Spain to America. She's pregnant. The father of the child is not in the picture, and she has a real estate license. So she's trying to sell this big house that's been on the market for a while, and nobody's been able to move. And one of the clients who comes on this day that is like a pivotal day with her kind of almost against the wall with the
Is
sale
the
of the
devil.
house.
One of the clients is the devil. No?
No, you're wrong again.
Okay.
But this guy is a bad guy, and this turns into one of those trapped in the house situations. And of course, while this is going on, she goes into labor. I don't want to say much more about it, but the issues I had with this film, other than kind of the weird, murky, and deliberate pacing, is that the villain, played by Raul Castillo, you never get a real grip on his backstory. You don't understand why he's the way he is. His powers are kind of strange, and I won't say supernatural, but things begin happening that kind of make little or no sense in terms of what Push is trying to do.
I don't mean to spoil the movie, but does he buy the house from her or not?
She does manage to sell the house and live happily ever after. I'm lying. That is not what happens.
Okay.
David Charbonnier and Justin Powell are the co-directors, co-screenwriters. There is kind of a lovely, creepy moodiness to this, but, like I sometimes bring up the comedian George Miller, who said, buy the premise and you buy the bit. Not really getting a grip on what this devilish, he's not the devil, this horrible killing machine is all about. The whys and the hows in clear form works to the detriment of the movie. Push, by the way,
but nobody dies in this, right, Michael?
I really am not at liberty to say, Mark.
Mark, it's a horror film. Everybody dies. Oh, okay.
It's available for it's direct to streaming. We weren't
nothing.
around last week. I want to quickly talk about Jurassic World.
This is a classic Mark Thompson time waster.
No, go ahead.
Jurassic World Rebirth, if you will, is they're kind of short on new ideas. The Jurassic World movies are very popular, and this has been a box office smash. It's been out since the July 4th holiday. This franchise is not quite as extinct as its beasties, the dinosaurs, but maybe it should be. It does ape some moments of the iconic Spielberg original, which was a movie with a fresh and exciting premise, a stellar execution, characters that earned our affection. 7 movies on, Jurassic World Rebirth is kind of like a magnificent tinker toy with stunning effects work, thinly drawn characters, and a pretty predictable outcome.
What is the premise of this 7th incarnation of this film?
I'm going to get to it.
Right.
Essentially, the dinosaurs who were let loose on the rest of the world in previous films have been driven back to the equator, and they actually have in their blood what might be cure-alls for horrible diseases that humans fall victim to. So some scientists and some mercenaries head to an island where they are in order to try to get this plasma for the betterment of mankind, except one of the guys on the trip wants to actually get it for pharmaceutical, big pharma reasons and weaponize it. So, of course, there's always a fly in the ointment. So the director is Gareth Edwards, and he's done well by some previous giant monsters, including Godzilla. And most of these action sequences kind of churn and burn. But the script by screenwriter David Koepp, at his most cavalier, is almost Jurassic boilerplate. I mean, you do get Scarlett Johansson doing her Black Widow girl boss thing as the tough mercenary.
I like that. Yeah.
tough mercenary hero. Then again, there's some blatant product placement, which was a distracting. Look, as an occasional customer, I never thought I'd be offended to see a tin of Altoids. But anyway, it's okay. You know, the supporting cast includes Mahershala Ali, who's wonderful, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend. It's
so they
a
poured some
bargain
money
matinee.
into the casting, but you're saying it's sort of like it's just getting tired as a franchise.
Bargain
like
matinee. All right, quickies. Sorry, baby.
Somebody's asking about Heads of State, the Prime movie Heads of State.
I'm getting to that.
Okay, I just want to mention some interest in it. Just settle down. Jeez,
I
my
just
God.
want to quickly say, Sorry, Baby is a wonderful first-time movie by writer, director, and star Eva Victor. It's a smart, tender, and surprisingly wry look at one bright, quirky, and promising woman's attempt to move on in her life after experiencing trauma, a sexual assault. As writer, director, actress Eva Victor puts it, it's a bad thing. There's also a lot about the healing power of having a cat around the house, Mark.
I love that. I love it.
I love it. So Victor is Agnes. It is a lovely film. I don't want to get into too much depth, but I highly recommend
And
Sorry,
where can
Baby.
I see Sorry Baby?
Sorry Baby is in select theaters. I hope to God your theater is selected.
All right.
How would you handle this? We could try ignoring it, sir.
No, I am very much going. I might go this weekend to Sorry Baby. Go ahead,
Okay.
Michael.
40 Acres is a pretty cool dystopian action movie starring the great and award-winning actress Danielle Deadwyler as the head of a kind of family on a farm, and they are surrounded by desperate people willing to kill to get food and access to food. And so it's a rock'em sock'em situation.
Okay.
Society may have gone to hell, but the Freemans are surviving on their farm. And of course, a young woman shows up who may be Eve to one of the young men's Adam. It's quite good. Director R.T. Thorne co-wrote the script, and I thought it was, as these things go, pretty damn good. It's called 40 Acres. Terrific cast, lots of tension, and we've seen these creepy science fiction dystopian films before, and this is another one, but it worked for me.
And where is it? Sure.
It is in select theaters, and soon, hopefully, you'll be able to watch it at home. Now I got to get to Heads of State. I know you've been waiting. Heads of State is much better and more entertaining than it had any right to be. It's a bickering buddies action comedy wherein the oil and water pair is John Cena's Reagan meets Trump big screen hero turned populist POTUS, and Idris Elba's Straight Arrow ex-military man turned British prime minister. It is a preposterous romp through international espionage, diplomacy, and global hotspots. It's like the idiot offspring of Lethal Weapon and Air Force One. I was there for every lunatic moment of Heads of State, and also good supporting work by Priyanka Chopra Jonas, who gets a nice meaty role as an MI6 agent who has a relationship with the PM. John Cena is a treat. He's just a treat. And Idris Elba is one of our finest actors. I know it's trivial, but this was one of the times when I could just say, bring it on. It's available for streaming on Amazon Prime Video. How about that?
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Wow. What a buffet of entertainment.
I saw this Heads of State, and it was a total bubblegum movie, and I enjoyed it. I don't know why I enjoyed it, but I just found it amusing.
Yeah.
Those guys can sail on charm alone, but this was fun and funny, Kim. I'm totally in agreement with you on Heads of State.
It's not fake. That's real.
Yeah, there's a lot of agreement, and people really are into
oh, girl, baby girl. Don't even play.
Heads of State. Check it out, Idris Elba, John Cena, and you can stream it on Amazon. 40 Acres, the dystopian action movie. It's the end of times. And food is not available. It's a fight over what's left. 40 Acres, Michael Snyder liked it. He said, check it out. It's in select theaters. Soon we'll be streaming and opening wide. Sorry, Baby. First time film for this director. and apparently a winner. Michael really liked Sorry Baby. A woman recovering from, was it a divorce, I think you said?
No, it was sexual assault. Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Which often leads to a divorce. You're absolutely right.
Who is having that conversation?
I'm sorry. I misspoke, really, is what I'm
That's
trying to say. Anyway,
I stand corrected.
Okay, so Sorry Baby is a film that he really liked. He didn't want to reveal a bunch more details, except there is a cat, and we love cats, and I'm glad that there's a cat.
It was great. I loved it.
All right. Now, that's Sorry Baby. And that's, by the way, that's streamable or that's in select theaters? Where is that?
It's in select theaters. I'd love people to support Ms. Victor's work, which is charming and very astute and lovely. But I do know that it'll play well at home as well.
Okay. Eva Victor is who he's talking about, the director, I think. Is it?
Yeah.
The Jurassic World offering, Jurassic World Rebirth. The Gareth Edwards directed project, chock full of big stars like Scarlett Johansson. Michael says, it's the seventh one, kind of running out of some steam. Feels as though it's not getting the full culture blaster endorsement.
No, it's a popcorn movie that, like I said earlier, basically apes a lot of the beats from previous films, but it's well executed. And again, the technology keeps increasing by leaps and bounds. So you'll
that's
believe
a good
a
point. So at
dinosaur
least
can.
there's that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can believe a dinosaur can chomp a human in half.
Okay. That's Jurassic World Rebirth. Is it? What's the next one? The horror film? Is it called
Push? Yeah,
Push. That's right. This is the pregnant woman. Yeah. She's the realtor. She's here from Spain trying to sell a big house. She is pregnant, and I guess she goes into labor while she's trying to sell this big house. And apparently, the guy who is maybe supposedly going to buy the house, he is a villainous, evil guy. It is a horror film, so you have to be ready for some horror, I guess.
Yeah, it's not very gory, but yeah, there's that whole haunted house vibe and the lunatic chasing the pregnant woman. You get the deal.
I do. So that's Push. Sovereign is the dysfunctional father-son relationship. There's economic disparity that's being played out. Nick Offerman, as an anti-establishment guy, goes around the country. There's Jacob Tremblay, the former child actor, who is sort of there with him. And Dennis Quaid, apparently, wacko in real life, but plays a really great role here. Michael liked Sovereign. Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight is a film based on a memoir, the life of Alexandra Fuller. This depicts her childhood in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, and their family farm life. Michael really likes this movie. Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight is in select theaters. Superman, the James Gunn directed offering, the iconic comic book character. It is picking up, sort of in a sense, Michael says, as though we'd seen Superman 1. It almost feels like it is Superman 2. You don't get a lot of backstory. You pick up the Man of Steel while he's in action. Plus, it sounds to me like there are a bunch of other comic book characters who are also entering the fray with Superman.
Man. Metamorpho the Element Man, played by Anthony Carrigan of TV's Barry. He was like the bald Eastern European mob guy.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's a wonderful actor, and the character's introduced, and it's, again, there's no sense of where he's coming from, why he's the way he is. There are other connecting characters to that character that aren't really given any kind of, screen time. So, there are flaws here, but it's kind of fun.
Well, I'm excited to possibly see it or at least hear about it. I love walking through entertainment with you. There's no one I'd rather walk through entertainment. By the way, I was encouraged to know that there's actually a cartoon character named Mr. Terrific, which is what Michael revealed in his review of Superman. Mr. Terrific apparently is like the
What?
smartest guy in the world or something.
That is second or third smartest guy in the
Second
world.
or
Is how
third.
he
They're
bills
always
himself.
jockeying. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
They're always
He's a
jockeying
tech.
for the.
This is Casey Kasem
in Hollywood.
Yeah, this is Casey. Mr. Terrific moves up one spot this week to number 2. He's
Thank
the
you.
second
That's
smartest man in the world.
That is exactly the situation.
Find Michael Snyder at thevoicesf.org. You can find him here on Fridays. His musings at thevoicesf.org give you a chance to really see the kind of great writer he is and how he reflects on life.
Yeah, the current column is about the way series and TV shows end. Sometimes the finales are good, sometimes they're not. So check it out if you get a chance. And I will be checking out Dodgers Giants this weekend at Oracle Park. Titanic battle, and I hope to actually be in studio with you next week. I'm going to be up and away and out of San Francisco, hopefully.
I'll welcome you to the studio as I do always with open arms. Michael, you are a gift to us. You come and go on a rainbow. Bye-bye, Michael.
So long, everybody.
Yeah, wow. Michael Snyder. Pretty big deal.